Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, folks? This Coach Marcus Pro Fan Talk back at you. Just watching the very, very end, last few seconds of the New York game. Looks like it just ended. New York with another dub at home, and they beat Connecticut 82-74. It was a good game, tight game. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I see a couple people in the room, but if you can hear me, do me a favor and put a thumbs up in the chat. I was messing around with my microphones just a tad, but everything, I'm seeing the meters move, and I see my visualizer on the bottom is going up and down, so it looks like everything is happening the way it is supposed to be happening. So it looks like we're in good shape. But Sabrina Ionescu was in her bag tonight. 30 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Oddly enough, Sabrina Ionescu, 7 turnovers tonight. I wonder if anybody's going to complain about that like they do with Caitlin Clark. But when you handle the ball that much, you're bound to turn over. I saw when she got ripped by DiJonai Carrington. And you can see in my chat, DiJonai Carrington, man, listen. She can play some damn defense. But I'll tell you what, man, she got to have net muscles of life because she got to be carrying around 10 pounds of weave back there. That weave is down to her damn knees, man. She look like damn Crystal Gale out there. All that hair back there. But she balling. Carrington had, what did she end up with? She ended up with 13 points. 13 points, 5 steals. Damn, that's a damn good game. 5 steals, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. So she was over the stat sheet too. Pretty good game. But yeah, man, Sabrina Ionescu, she was just on today. She was on fire. She was 7 for 14 from the floor, 6 for 11 from deep. And she went 10 for 10 on the free throw line. So good game. Doesn't look like anybody from New York got nobody got double doubles. I think one person nope, nobody got any double doubles. No double doubles in this game. Looked like somebody was getting close, but must be mistaken. I must have been looking at something. Maybe I was looking at the storm or something. I don't know. But good game. Good game today. And New York is getting it together. And I will continue to pose this question going to the break, this Olympic break we're about to have. Who is going to be able to get it back together? Jason Sudeikis. Who's going to be able to get it back together after this Olympic break? I noticed Breanna Stewart did not play. Are they trying to rest her for the Olympics, just like they're resting all the other players? Taurasi, Brianna Griner. Everybody's not banged up, I don't think. If they are, that is a crazy coincidence. But good win. So Connecticut is 18-6, and New York is 21-4, I think. I don't know if this thing is updated. Or maybe it is 18-6 versus 21-4. So New York has the best record in the league right now. New York and I think it's New York, Connecticut, Minnesota, Las Vegas. So they've got the most they got the best records in the league right now. So, but yeah, that was a good game. That was a good game. So, so I got some notes. Gonna go over some stuff real quick. Trying to make it a point. I'm trying to go live every day this week. Got some plans. Got some things I want to do. But let's take a look. First thing on my list was talking about Caitlin Clark and how she has responded to everything that Cheryl Reeves had said. She kind of threw out a slight jab when they were asking her about moving into second place as far as the assists for a rookie. And she said, nobody's going to remember second place. But the question was, will she remember it because it's, versus Minnesota? She's like, yeah, I'm probably not going to remember that. Some people took that as a jab. I really didn't. I mean, you're right. You don't really remember when you got second place in something, unless that's the last thing you do. If the best you could do is, when you go somewhere and get a silver medal or you come in second place, you remember when you win the championship, when you come in first. So I understood the question, but I also understand the answer. So little slight jab at Cheryl Reeve, but nothing crazy. And Cheryl Reeve spoke on it about how Caitlin Clark is bringing in the attendance and the revenue. But it's funny, everybody that mentions stuff like that, they'll never say anything about her game. They'll never say anything about how she's playing, how she's shooting, none of that stuff. So, and you figure that's the type of opinions you can give, and you can't really refute because you can always go to the stats to verify. So you could easily say, hey, she needs to be shooting a little bit better than 33% or whatever it is she got right now. So that's the opportunity to say a couple of more things, but it can be factual, not opinion-based, all of that kind of stuff. But it seems like it's always a backhanded compliment, but it is what it is. That's water under the bridge. We going into this break. So all of this stuff they talking, it don't really matter. All these opinions, it don't really matter. Cheryl Reeves, she's got her train of thought on how she wants to do things, and she's the coach, and she's arguably one of the better coaches, if not the best coach in the WNBA, because Minnesota's not really getting a lot of publicity, not really very visual. Everything's been Indiana and Chicago, and I guess New York and Las Vegas. Minnesota kind of gets lost in the shuffle until you look at their record, and then you're like, well, damn, they're pretty damn good. So it looks like they get lost in the shuffle a little bit, but the only thing that matters is when you get to the playoffs and how you do in the playoffs. So all that other stuff don't matter. They're going to go on this break. The Olympic team's going to be ready. Everybody's rested. I don't think anybody is like really majorly hurt. But everybody's going to be looking at it. Obviously, there would be more eyes if Caitlin Clark was on the team. Some people have been speculating that she might get a spot on the team due to all of the injuries. Unless it is something serious that they haven't mentioned or talked about, I don't see that happening. None of those guards, with the exception of maybe Diana Taurasi, but excuse me, they play it very close to the vest in the W because everything is a foot injury. They don't get specific. Tammy Fack-Bentley's been out for I don't know how long. And the same thing with her. First, it was a foot injury. Now it was a hand injury or a finger injury. They don't get specific. Did she get it fractured? Is it out of socket? Is it splintered? Is it, broken? What is it? Be specific. If you have a foot injury, do you have an ankle sprain? Do you have a high ankle sprain? Do you have did you tweak your Achilles heel? Did you pull your, your tendon? There's a million things that can happen. So being vague just makes me think that maybe they just trying to, pull them back a little bit so they can get a little bit of extra rest, because when they go to Paris, they got to be ready to rock and roll. And most people, here's the thing that they don't, I guess people take for granted because they don't see that side of it. You're playing your WNBA schedule, and then you got to turn it around, pack, get on the plane, and immediately you're just thrust into the nonstop action schedules, the security, the chaos that is the Olympic experience. Not that I've ever been to the Olympics, but I remember what it was like down in Atlanta when they were down there. So And then a lot of people are saying that Paris is not ready. Still a lot of stuff going on, still a lot of political stuff, still a lot of trash and all this other kind of stuff that they, trying to clean up and get ready. So we'll see what they're going to put on their best face, just like Rio did. And I always laugh when Rio built a ginormous wall on the other side of the highway across from the Olympic stadium. So the cameras couldn't pick up the slums, the favelas. It is a huge, like 50-foot tall wall or something. So you couldn't see it. Just like when you go get ready to go on stage and make a movie, you put your makeup on, you put on your best face. All these cities do the same thing, and that's what Paris is going to do. You see my background, beautiful shot, but there's a lot of places in Paris that don't look so pretty. So, but we'll see what they're going to do. I'm sure they'll have it ready to go, and just don't go in the river. So, excuse me. But one thing I wanted to mention real quick, it was a early game today. It was a lot of 12. I think it was a 12 o'clock game today, where Seattle. What time did Seattle play? Chicago's about to play at 10 because they're playing in Vegas. Seattle played this afternoon. Jewell Lloyd dropped 30. Agumike dropped 23 and 10. She's the one that had the double-double. Ariel Stevens had 24 and 10. So there's a couple double-doubles in that game. They put some good. That was a good game. That was a good game. Azura Stevens had 24 and 15. Damn, she had a good game. Dearica Hamby had another good game, 15 and 9. So, yeah, they were lighting it up out in LA, but Seattle comes away with it. And Jewell Lloyd dropped 30 on them. Damn. 8 for 18, 3 for 10 from deep, 11 from 16 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 turnovers. She had the ball in her hands most of the time. Damn. She was in her bag today. Jewell Lloyd was getting it in today. That's why she on one of my top 5. What's up, Gentorino? Kevin, the PRF, was first out the limo, so I appreciate you, Kev. I watched the end of the game. I had my scoreboard on most of the game, but I didn't come on camera until right 10 o'clock. So, Ionescu went off today, and I was just saying Jewell Lloyd went off today too. Both of them hit 30. Both of them hit 30 today. So, good games today. Good games. And then this is the last. Indiana plays tomorrow, I think at 7:30. So I'll probably do that game. And then I believe they got one more on Friday, I think. I'm not sure about that. Let me see. Tomorrow, Atlanta and Minnesota play at 1 in the afternoon. I hate them games. Indiana plays at Dallas at 7:30. And then Saturday, you got the women's national team against the All-Stars, I guess, on the 20th. And then I guess that's the All-Star game. And then you got nothing until August 15th. That is a long-ass break. Oof. That is a long break. So, yeah, man. Then the Olympics get started. Then football season. When we come back, when the WNBA comes back, I'm going to be super busy, man, because the NFL will be going full. Training camp will be full tilt. So you'll be having daily news from the NFL. I'm planning on going to a couple of Eagles practices. I'll be part of the alumni game. The alumni game is, alumni game is August 1st, I believe. So I'll be at the game. I think I'll be trying to stream from the game. So it's going to be it's going to be hectic for me. I'm going to be all over the place. I'll definitely be at the alumni game. And I will definitely be I'm going to try to get to at least one practice at camp. Now I know camp, they don't do much anymore. Because with the Guardian caps and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it works out. But I'm gonna hit camp up one day. And then of course I'll be at the alumni game. So that's always a lot of fun. But yeah, man, this summer's moving quick. Summer's moving quick. One of the things, where's my notes at? One of the things I've been hearing a lot about ever since the Minnesota game. Now, first of all, the win versus New York, to me, was a little bit more impressive than the win over Minnesota. Minnesota, they got the dub. That's all I'm going to say. Right? They got the win. But I'm not going to believe that the game would have went like that if Fee Collier would have been playing. I'm not buying that. I got to keep that 100. Their best players weren't playing. So I'd expect Indiana to have the advantage. So, but that's one of those situations where if your opponent is missing or they down some people, you win the games you're supposed to win. You win the games you're supposed to win. Even as ugly as it was with that win in New York, they got out of there. That game was more impressive because they had a full squad. Everybody, I believe Stewie played that game. So everybody was on the roster. Everybody was getting it in. So to me, the New York win was more impressive than the Minnesota win. You just had a lot of the storylines going on with the Minnesota win because of Cheryl Reeve. So, yeah, Gentorino, Green Bay, man. That Brazil game, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I still don't like the fact that our first game is overseas. Not crazy about that. Our home game turns into an away trip. That is not fun. Who actually has the highest vertical in the W? Stewie, Parker, or Ionescu? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if they've ever. I don't know. Maybe Asia? Nalissa? I would put Nalissa on that list. Nalissa can jump. Because you can't look at height. You got to look at how high they getting up. So I don't know. Kennedy Carter, she can jump. DiJonai Carrington can get up. So it's a lot of people out there, man. That's an interesting question. But yeah, if they had Collier, definitely. That may have been a different outcome. Definitely a different outcome. So I'm not going to pretend to think that it was just going to be that simple. But they got it. Win the games you're supposed to win, regardless of what the reason is. And that's what they did. So she was in the right place. She timed it right, and she got it. So I'm not going to call it luck. She was right there. And she got a piece of the ball. And she made the play. Big time players make big time plays in big time games. That's simple. Everybody would not have made that play or been able to make that play. So, got to give her props. Great court vision. That's the way you think on your feet and make something out of nothing. Everybody can't do that. And that's why I say it like that. Big time players make big time plays in big time games. There's plenty of people, just like almost the argument I was having yesterday about Angel Reese and her double doubles. Everybody can't do that. I don't care if it is 10 or 12 points. Everybody can't do that. Because if they could, a lot more people would be doing it. And definitely not for the streak. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give her props. What you say, the KT Chiefs and the Bills are what? You got cut off. Yeah, this is going to be fire. Gentorino, let me tell you what's going on right now, man. Let me tell you my internal struggle right now. I think I mentioned this yesterday. If not yesterday, it had to be. Yeah, I did talk about this yesterday. The last video game that I played is that horror game, Calypso Protocol. It's like a Dead Space cousin, so to speak. But I've been going back and forth on if I want to purchase the NCAA 25 game. I've been going back and forth about that. Because I've gotten to the point where I'm very consistent with the podcast and I'm putting in work with the graphics and everything and my interfaces, and everything is working and I'm moving in the right direction and I'm growing. And if I get that game, if I jump on that game, I do not want to go down that rabbit hole, man, because it's just going to kill my time. And I was trying to think, would that be something worth streaming? Would y'all be interested in seeing me like maybe once or twice a week play a game and just like stream it? I was thinking about like, should I even do that? Because that's going to end up being a lot more time that I want to spend that I could be editing a video or producing something. So I'm thinking long and hard about that. Because if I go down that rabbit hole, it ain't no coming back. And mind you, I'm not that good at it. I might use it to try to predict games when the college season starts, just to do it for fun. You know, let the computer play on the hardest level and see what happens. Stupid stuff like that. So, do you think Travis Kelce? Hey, Hunter, how you doing? Appreciate you. Never seen your name before. Don't forget to subscribe, and everybody smash that like button. But I do appreciate you. Do you think Travis Kelce, by dating Taylor Swift, would affect his career? Nah. It could, but here's the one thing I will say about Travis Kelce and that whole Taylor Swift thing. He has been masterful at navigating that corridor because it was hot and heavy in the middle of the season. And that is when you can have major distractions when it comes to stuff like that, especially social media, relationships, and you are dating the number one pop star in the world. That is very, very difficult to navigate. So I give him props. Dating Taylor Swift, she's coming to games. Now you got presidential level security. Just everything that goes with that. He's showing up at concerts. You got the week off. He got a bye week. He's flying to Europe to come on stage and different stuff like that. It's just but it's not anything that he's not used to, especially when you're arguably the best in the NFL, in the Major League Baseball, NBA, hockey, whatever. When you're the best and you have that type of notoriety, you're used to that type of fame and that type of notoriety, that visible persona. He can't walk nowhere in Kansas City. Before he met Taylor Swift, he can't walk anywhere in Kansas City, especially, and he had Super Bowl rings already. So he was used to it, but let's be real. When he started dealing with Taylor Swift, that kicked it up a notch. And even everything with his podcast, with his brother and everything, and as big as Jason Kelce is now, he has been masterful at dealing, keeping his stuff in-house. Let me say it like that. Because I'm sure there's paparazzi following him everywhere and stories popping up on the internet and everybody's trying to take pictures of her and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. He's showing up at concerts. He doing his thing and he enjoying it. So I'm like, hey, more power to him. He ain't hurt nobody. And I'm sure the NFL thanks him too for that extra 300-something million in merchandise revenue that they sold because Taylor Swift was showing up. I'm surprised. I wonder if you know, the NFL sent him a charcuterie board or some flowers or something, gave him a gift card for some free barbecue in Kansas City. Do something for the dude because he brought mad money to the NFL. So good question though, but I think Travis he's been okay, and his play has not deteriorated. They went to the Super Bowl, for goodness sake, and won it. Let me see. NCAA 25 for the PS5 would be great. People would love to see your opinions on the game. I think. Who would you play as? I don't know. I would be sentimental, and I would go and hit up my Eastern Kentucky, and hopefully they'll make an all-star mode, and maybe I can be on the game. But yeah, I would either play like as Eastern Kentucky or Cincinnati or Ohio State. I keep it in the Ohio Valley, represent the crib. I would do it like that. I don't like playing games like that. And then you go and get the best team. You go and get LSU or Alabama, or to me, that's no fun when you automatically go there and you pick the best team on the game. I used to hate that. So yeah, I don't know, because I would have it on my PC. I wouldn't get it on the PlayStation. I don't have a PS5. I gave up on the PlayStations after PS4. When I was done playing Destiny 2, I was like, there's no need for me to buy another console. If I want to get something, especially when I built this PC, I got a GeForce RTX 380. I got a Threadripper 4950 processor. Like, I built this thing to do 3D, my graphics work, but this is a beast of a game system too. So everything, like playing Calypso Protocol, I'm playing it on ultra settings, so it's super detailed, and I can do all of that kind of stuff on my computer. So I don't know. I gotta see, man, because I don't want to spend the money and then not play it. I don't want to waste the money like that. But we'll see. I might mess around with it. Can't mean shoot. I can waste $50 on anything else, so it might not hurt. I'll keep y'all posted on that one. What's up, Kawan? Stop hating. She can go to whatever team she likes. Who are you talking about, Kawan? Who was I talking about? Somebody going to a team. I'm confused. What was I talking about, Kawan? Enlighten me. Yeah, dude. Gentarina, I'm a nerd, bro. I've always been that way. I'm a nerd. Dude, I was at dude, I worked for Apple for 13 years, bro. Just because I liked it. I had it as a second job. Because to me, that's not work. I loved it at Apple. Loved it. And would still be there if it wasn't, for the situation. But yeah, I didn't want to give up that gig. But they wanted me to change some things that I wasn't willing to change. So I had to walk away. Didn't want to, but I did it. I love, man, listen, I ain't got nothing bad to say at Apple. Love them people to this day. I see all my people on Facebook. Every time I go up there to visit, it's all hugs and love. For sure. Right up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That was my store. So yeah, I'm a nerd, bro. I'm a nerd. Technology and barbecue, man. That's me. That's me. So they always joke at me. I'll tell you a funny story. I played with the Eagles in 93 and 94. So it's not too many people, if I'm walking in the mall somewhere, that's going to recognize me. It's happened a couple times, but that's usually in a situation where, I remember a couple of the Eagles. I remember Jeremiah Trotter came to the Apple store one time. And of course, we know each other. So he looks at me and like, yo, I'll help you out, blah, 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 blah. And then somebody will come in and is like, Jeremiah Trotter? Like, yeah. And then they find out that I used to play for the Birds. But it's few and far between if I'm walking somewhere and somebody's like, yo, he plays for the Eagles. That doesn't happen. It's happened a few times. But the one time that it did happen, me and my wife were coming back from vacation. We were coming back from the Bahamas. And we were going through Philadelphia Airport, going to get our luggage. And I was walking downstairs. And there's a spot where you can go down the escalator or you can just walk down the steps. So I'm walking down the steps and another dude is walking up and he stops and look at me. I don't even remember if I had on, maybe I had on the Eagles hat or something. I don't know. But he stopped and he like pointed to me and I was like, he said, You was with the Eagles, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, up at Westchester, right? And I was like, yeah. And I'm thinking, you must remember that. Then he goes like this. He goes, you was in the computers and stuff, right? I was like, yo, how do you remember that? So some people are hardcore like that. And it's always funny to me. But it's funny that they knew me from that. Because one of the little profile things in my rookie, I see thunderstorms here in New Jersey. One of the things on my rookie profile was that I was in the computers and all of that kind of stuff. This is back in the DOS days, bro. I'm so old school. I graduated college before Windows 95 existed. How about that? I'm old school, bro. What do I think about Darren Waller and Kelce Plumb's divorce? I don't know what Darren Waller is thinking about, but I did see an interview with him. I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't know if he was on the pivot or somebody asked him about that. And he gave a good answer. Basically, he said he was just doing something that he didn't want to do anymore. And my thing is like, well, props to you because you ain't waste time with it. You didn't drag the girl along for 5 years and end up being cheating on her and all that kind of stuff. He understood what he wanted to do, what he did and didn't want to do, and he acted on it. So from the outside, looking in, you see what happened, and it's like, oh, come on, man. It's like good, nice girl, and she seemed to have her stuff together. And it could be, we don't know the whole story. We don't know what was going on behind closed doors, But it looks like it was on him, and based on the interview that I saw, he just wasn't in a good place with it. And I guess he decided to end it. So whatever his reasoning was, I thought it was a shame because I don't want to see couples split up like that. And young couples, good-looking couples, both got it going on, that sort of thing. And it's a shame. So he did what he felt he had to do. And it sounds like it ain't no hard feelings or nothing like that, but you never know. So it's a shame. CC is going to break the single season. Yes, she is going to average a double-double. She's going to, I'm saying that in jest. She's going to break the assist record and the turnover record. I think she already broke the turnover record. So that's funny. But yeah, CC is balling, man. She's finally kind of found her footing a little bit. And she has figured out that she likes to pass. And once her shooting percentage can catch up to her passing, and she gets a little bit, she's still not quite there yet in knowing her personnel. And what I mean by that is she's got a lot of passes that are just a fingertip away from being a perfect pass. And they're not ready for it. Kelce Mitchell done fumbled a bunch of passes. And it's when somebody passes like that, you got to get your mind used to it. You got to get your muscle memory used to it. If you are down low and she's got an easy bucket, you got to be ready for her to hit you with it behind the back. But sometimes I do believe that she's trying to be a little bit too cute, and she might try a bounce pass, and the ball bounces at somebody's feet, and it ends up being a turnover because it was either just a bad pass or that person wasn't ready for it. So there's a couple of things that have to happen for a pass to turn into an assist. Number one, whoever you passing it to, they got to be ready for it, and then they got to finish. So they are a lot better receiving the passes than they were at the beginning of the year. A lot better, because now they're expecting it. Go back and look at go back on YouTube. Good question, by the way, Gabriel. Go back and look at Jason Williams, White Chocolate. Go back and look at his footage and some of the passes he used to make. Now, he's got crazy highlights passing the ball. Incredible stuff. But they're not going to show how many passes he missed. He had to get to that point. And there was some time when he was a younger player that they weren't ready for it. and had to grow into it. And the people that come on the team, they got to get used to that style of play. And regardless of where you are on the court, expect the ball. That's where they got to get to. And that's where Indiana is getting to slowly but surely. I still think she needs to be a little bit better with setting people up. And I think her teammates need to do a better job of setting themselves up, anticipating where she wants to give the ball. And that's something you can work on. But at the end of the day, that comes from building the relationships with your teammates. That's what that is. That's when you hear, that's when they talk about the intangibles of your team. Stuff like that is when it comes into play, because that's unspoken communication, right? We didn't get to say nothing to each other. We just got to look, and I know what's coming. So that's a relationship thing with her teammates, and that will get better. That kind of leads me to the other point that we're talking about. A lot of talk about Christie Sides getting fired mid-season, like get rid of her during this break. And I'm like, no, don't do that. The worst thing you can do is get rid of your coach mid-season. I don't care how bad the team is doing. The only way you get rid of your coach in the middle of the season is if the coach has lost the team. Now, it is a big deal. It is a big difference from your coach not doing a good job and your coach losing the team. Those are two totally different circumstances. And if Christie Sides had lost the team, you would know. You would know on the sideline. And there's been some times where I was like, she kind of on the fence. Because anytime your players are openly questioning what you do and, giving you them looks and like, what are you doing? And there's a couple times where she's been drawing stuff on the bench and you can that's what I do now. Whenever there's a timeout or whenever the game's coming down and it's a tight one, whenever they call a timeout and she drawing stuff up on that pad, look at the facial expressions to everybody on the bench. Watch what they're doing. Watch the facial expressions. That'll tell you everything you know about what coach is doing. Because if she draw up some nonsense and it look like some bull jive, you're going to see the look on their face. And one of my criticisms of Caitlin Clark is she ain't got a poker face at all. If she frustrated, it's all over her face. Her body language is garbage sometimes. And I'm saying that as a former coach, former professional. It's very easy to tell when you're in the height of competition when your body language changes. It's very easy to tell when you frustrated and you reaching and you pressing. It's very easy to tell because when you in the zone and you smooth and things just start happening, everything moves flawlessly, like almost effortlessly. And the flip side of that is when you angry or when you pressing and everything you do is aggressive and you get 2 fouls real quick. And next thing you know, you got 4 fouls going into the third quarter, like different things like that. So I'm always looking for stuff like that. And the one thing about Caitlin Clark is she ain't got no poker face. Everybody, I'm not going to bitch about when she complained to the refs because the refs are just bad. I ain't going to get mad at her about that because that's a league-wide problem. You watch any game in the WNBA and all them women are doing the same thing. Call the foul. Call the foul. What are you doing? You're terrible. Call it. That's all it is. Because the refs are horrible in the W. I don't know if Kathy Engelbert can pull some extra money to get some better refs next year or what they're going to do, but they better do something because the referee situation is god awful. It's not. There's no reason for that because they swallow the whistle on obvious calls. I understand if you want to play ticky-tack or if you want to play loose. I don't care what you do. Just be consistent with it. If you're going to call every little thing, then call every little thing the whole game. If you're going to let them play, then let them play the whole game. Don't let them play the whole game, and then all of a sudden you want to call all these ticky-tack fouls the last 2 minutes when it's on the line. That don't make sense. Not to mention all of the shit that they've just been just missing. You got to get smacked in the face and damn near a broken nose before you blow a whistle? I don't understand it. And then even today when I was watching the New York game, Jonquel Jones is standing with her hands up. She don't even touch the girl. The girl goes in for a layup and they call a foul. And Jonquel Jones turned around and looked like, I didn't even touch her. And you show the replay, it's about a 2-inch gap between her and the girl. Never touched her, but the girl got the foul. So it's like, now you don't call that foul, but in another game, somebody gets clobbered upside the head and they let the play run. Like, I don't understand the discrepancy with what they're doing. They're supposed to be professionals too. And I'm expecting a certain amount of expertise at your job, and these refs are not showing it. I don't care what anybody says. I know that the NBA refs are bad. The NBA refs ain't this bad. It's a shame when you make the college referees look like they are the elite. That's how bad these refs have been. And I still argue that a lot of the crap that we get, the hard play against Caitlin Clark and the physical play, and when everybody was crying that they was assaulting her and all of that kind of stuff, all of that stuff could have been controlled by the refs, and they didn't do it. And I'm trying to figure out why they didn't do it. You can go at somebody physically and put them on the floor, and as long as it's in between the lines, as long as it's on the court, it's fair play. But if you're going to crack the girl upside the head, at least give her free throws. And they were swallowing the whistle. And that is what made it look so bad. They were swallowing the whistle, and it was across the board. The reason why it looked like, because let's be clear, it looked like everybody was coming at Caitlin Clark. That was the optics of it. They weren't doing that, but that was the optics of it. Because I thought they were going at Caitlin Clark until I went back, looked at the last 3-4 years of WNBA play, and I was like, oh, this is par for the course. They wasn't doing nothing extra to Caitlin Clark. That's what they've been doing. And it's up to her to get used to it as a rook. But the refs weren't blowing the whistle, and it just made it look worse and worse and worse. And then I think it started to take a turn when the Chennedy Carter incident happened. Because I said this before the season even started. They was putting all their eggs in one basket with Caitlin Clark. And what happens if she gets hurt? And then you have all of this nonsense, not calling the fouls. And man, if that girl would have busted an ankle or something like that on some nonsense, that'd have been crazy. Stop messing with the money. David Turn, who do I think is rookie of the year, Caitlin or Angel? I think eventually it'll be Caitlin Clark. A week and a half ago, I had Angel Reese in the lead because her streak with double-doubles, to me, in my opinion, that's impressive. And she was consistent with it. I don't care if you liked it or not. She was consistent with it. If it was that easy, everybody could do it. And she was doing it. And I still say she done talk to her Uncle Shaq or something, because that girl knows how to position herself and use her body to get rebounds. Plus, she just out hustles everybody under the rim. I don't care if she's missing her own shots and she puts it back up. It ain't like the defense just standing around watching her. She does it better than anybody else. So give her props. Now, a week and a half ago, I said Angel was in the lead. Then Caitlin Clark gets the triple-double. Should have been her second one. So then I'm like, right now, in my opinion, if you're asking me today, I think it's an even race. I think it's an even race. I wouldn't like to see co-rookie of the years, but if they gave the award today, I would understand. I would understand. Now, what I think is going to happen is I think coming off this break, I think Caitlin Clark is going to continue doing what she's doing. She's got some rest. She's got some time to herself. She can rest up. Maybe they can practice a little bit more. And it's going to be, I just think that Caitlin Clark is going to continue to get better after this break. The teams that can brush the rust off after a month off of competitive basketball is going to be better. I know they're going to be practicing a lot and doing all that kind of stuff, but practice is practice. Game speed is game speed. Big difference. Plus, in my opinion, this break, I think Angel Reese's celebrity status is going to interfere with her workouts a little. She got time off. So she going to do what she do. Look at what, Cameron Brink is a little bit different, but she in the same boat. Cameron Brink got that celebrity status. She got cover girl looks. She just got a magazine cover, but she's hurt, so she can get away with that. Angel Reese has those same opportunities. And because they're not playing, I think she's going to take advantage of some of those opportunities. The flip side of that is Caitlin Clark going to be in somebody's gym shooting jumpers all day. And I think that's going to be the difference. And coming out of this break, I think Caitlin Clark is going to be better coming out of the break than Angel Reese. That's my opinion. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just guessing. So, ultimately, to answer the question, I think it's going to be Caitlin Clark in the end. Gabriel, yeah, that's a personal thing. That's a personal thing. I know people that like Angel Reese's. They like that aggressive behavior, and let me be honest with you, that's a cultural thing. She from Maryland. She from I don't know if she's from the hood, but I know there's some places in Maryland. When you grow up in Maryland, there's some places they don't play. And she don't strike me as somebody that grew up in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? So she know how to handle herself on them streets. And that attitude spills out on the court. That's why she can give you those looks and all of that kind of stuff. That's why Chennedy Carter is the way she is. She got that edge to her. So that's a personality / culture thing. And a lot of people don't like that. And that's okay. You're just not used to it. So I said this yesterday. My fear for Angel Reese is because she has that edge about her, I don't want her to say something or do something stupid via social media. That's what I'm afraid of for Angel Reese. She gonna do something or say something stupid on social media, and it's gonna have a domino effect coming back to Chicago. That's what I think she has to be careful of. Yo, Gentorino, them refs are terrible, bro. They're terrible. The Chennedy Carter incident, I don't know what Chennedy Carter was thinking. That was a cheap shot. It made it worse because she didn't even hit the girl hard. She just wasn't expecting it. She wasn't expecting it. If Chennedy Carter did not do that to Caitlin Clark, Chennedy Carter would be an all-star right now because Chennedy Carter is the best player on Chicago right now. That girl is no joke. She is no joke. And when she is in her groove, she is hard to stop. She is arguably one of the most explosive guards off the ball, off the dribble. She can hit that mid-range shot. You notice she doesn't take too many three-pointers. She takes what the defense gives her. She's hard to the basket. She's quick to the basket. She's hard to stop, man. She's hard to stop. David Turner, I appreciate you, man. Don't be a stranger, bro. Oh, you got the wrench, bro. You already know. You part of the family. Hunter asks, did you see what happened last night? They caught Jaylen Brown saying about Bronny James and agree with him. They called him and said, I think, they posted it. That's been all on ESPN. I don't think Bronny is a pro. Hey, it is what it is. Everybody got their opinion. You know my thing. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. And you know what? Bronny ain't doing himself any favors. The best thing that Bronny's not doing right now is he's not talking. Not been on, not giving interviews and stuff like that. The best thing you can do is just play your game. He'll get better. He got a lot of pressure on him. And it seems to me he's trying to force it a little bit, which a lot of people do. And he ain't the first 55th pick to play bad. Let's keep it real. He's only getting this pressure because of LeBron James, because his dad. But he knew that. He knew what was coming. He knew what was coming. Yeah, Kennedy's good, man. Kennedy is she's the truth. She was leading the team in scoring when she was coming off the bench, and finally Teresa Weatherspoon. And that's, let me be honest with you, that's the biggest thing with Kennedy Carter. Teresa Weatherspoon is why Kennedy Carter is doing what she's doing. Teresa Weatherspoon is the perfect personality, the perfect coach for Kennedy Carter. And you can tell. You can tell. If Kennedy Carter would be anywhere else, it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't, in my opinion. So she's making the most of it. She should be an all-star. It's a shame that she's not. But again, that incident with Caitlin Clark, and even after that, she, at least I think she understood what she did. Or Teresa Weatherspoon got in her ear and was like, listen, you don't want to do that. Because she, you know, her past, her track record ain't very good. Because she don't want to end up like Liz Cambridge. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's all good. All she got to do is continue to play ball. She is hard to stop, and she's fun to watch. Gentrino says Bronny's shooting 25 to 30%. Yeah, he's shooting like Caitlin. Caitlin just scored more points. Yeah, he gotta do something, man. The rules don't change. If your jump shot's not hitting, take it to the hole. Do something. If you can't take it to the hole, play defense. Rebound. You got to find something to make yourself stand out. You in the spot now. Like, you got it. You there. Regardless of what anybody say about you, you are there now. And it's a whole lot of people that want to be where you are. You can call it nepotism. It is what it is. Not the first time. It won't be the last. But it's on him to make the most of the opportunity that he's got. Same thing happened with the Ball brothers. A lot of people didn't like that Melo and Lonzo Ball and all them got them opportunities when they kind of skipped the line too. But when they got there, they did what they were supposed to do. So Bronny, he ain't going nowhere. So whatever you got to do, you know, one game it'll click and he'll go for like 15, 18. And then it's like, you know, the switch will get flicked on. He'll be fine. Who do I think will be the best player on the Sparks next year? Dearica Hamby is balling this year, bro. And I don't see why she would get worse. Cameron Brink, nah. Because now you got to remember, she got an ACL injury, which means she's going to have to rehab. So which means she has to get back to where she was this year. So she's not advancing. She's trying to get back to the starting gate. So she's going to have to, anytime you get an injury like that, it's a lot of mental stuff because your brain has to accept the fact that your knee works the way it used to. And sometimes that process can take a little bit longer. I saw a video today. It was Nick Chubb, the running back in the NFL. He tore his knee last year. And then there was a video today of him squatting some ridiculous amount of weight. But you only do that if your mind tells you your knee is ready. Because a lot of times people, their knee will be healed, but you got to take that extra 2 to 3 weeks to convince your mind you can do that. If you've had a knee injury, if you were a running back, it's happened to me, you were running back, you're going to get your ankle sprain, high ankle sprain, whatever. And then you got to go through that process and somebody gives you the ball and you going full speed straight ahead. That's okay. The minute you got to go left or right, that's when your body want to play tricks on you. Because can your ankle, the one that you twisted, can the ankle handle that torque, changing direction, going full speed? That's the key. Will Cameron Brink be able to get on the court, go full fast break speed going down the court, stop come between her legs and pop a jumper. Will her mind let her do that? Because that's going to put stress on the knee and all of that kind of stuff. So it is a mental game when you rehab. What's up, William Quinlan? Clark played almost continually from college basketball seasons to the Final Four, then almost straight to the NBA. Yes, she did. And I mentioned that earlier in the year. That's a lot of basketball while everybody else in the league was chilling. And she went to the last game. Caitlin Clark, Camila Cardoso, anybody, if you from Iowa or South Carolina and you were a rookie, you played a lot of basketball. A lot of basketball, especially if your team went to the Final Four. That's a lot of hoops. Aaliyah Edwards, a lot of hoops. So you're absolutely right. So props to her, because if you look at and the one thing I used to say about Cameron Brink, but she just, the expiration date on that kneecap just went. But if you ever looked at Cam Brink got some muscular legs. She's long like that. She's lanky. She built like a model. But she got some muscle on them quads. Caitlin Clark is the same way. You ever looked at, she got some muscular legs. So that's what happens, man. That's what happens. What they say, people didn't like the Balls because they were hyped up by their father. Yeah, it was yeah. People got sick of what's his name? Lonzo Ball. Whatever the dad's name was, people got sick of him. But you notice they kept putting them on television. Same situation with Caitlin Clark. The difference is she ain't saying much. She don't talk. He was talking. And you got sick of hearing him talk. But you know what? When you look back on it, this dude came up with his own shoe for his kids and talked his kids into the NBA. I can't get mad at him for that. He did what was best for his boys. He was an active dad. He was at every game. He was coaching them. He was doing this, that, and the other. Now, you might not like how he conducted some of his business. You can say that about anybody. But he did what's best for his boys, and it paid dividends. Y'all just didn't like him. And the funny part was, you saw how it was playing out. He wasn't doing anything new. He did that on purpose. He played the asshole on purpose because everybody was looking at him. What is his dad going to say? He on ESPN again? Why? Everybody was watching him, and he took all the pressure off his boys because everybody was looking at him. Smart move. And they just slipped up there, and when they had the opportunity, they played pretty good. I don't think neither one of them is all-stars, but they holding their own. They doing better than Bronny doing right now. But they all got to take their lumps. They all got to take their lumps. That's what that's what it comes down to. And there's no way to get around that. They all have to take their lumps. So yeah, that's true. That's true. I think the fame thing, it just changes people's perspective of you. And people, a lot of times you remain the same, and it's how everybody treats you. It's how everybody treats you. So, but to your point, you are correct. Clark was breaking records when she stepped foot at Iowa. So by the time that first year, she went to the title. She went to the title game. She was already breaking them records and getting close. And they were already talking about her breaking the all-time record when she was a junior. So they saw it coming. And it's going to be the same thing next year with Kate Beckers. And it's going to be the same thing when Juju Watkins come out. Because if anybody can break that record, it's going to be Juju. If she continues to play the way she's been playing, and if she continues to stay healthy. Big if. Health is the health is paramount. So we'll see what's going to happen. Players like Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Darren Taurasi wasn't having that stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's different world. They had that was arguably the greatest team ever in college women's. I mean, Gino Auriemma just he does what he does, period. I don't know how much the refs in the WNBA get paid. Yes, they are getting paid. They are professionals. I know there were some of those guys that do the WNBA crew. Some of them have been in the NBA, and they flip-flop because it's at the end of the day, it's extra money. So they've got experience. I just don't understand why they're doing some of the things that they do, letting some of the things go, especially when it's clear as day. So I don't know. Don't know. So, but all right, man. I got to keep this in mind. Today is Tuesday. Is today Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday, right? So I'm trying to remember that because the other day when I did the stream, I ended up with over 100 people on the stream. That was on a Monday. Today, not so much. And I kind of advertised this one. So it's funny, man, trying to anticipate where the crowds are going to come from. If you can figure out how to do that, man, you got something. That's what I'm trying to grind through with the analytics and stuff on YouTube. So, but the one thing I wanted to get into finally before I get up out of here, Skip Bayless is out at FS1. Get fired. He's going to have his last show at sometime in the future, but he is out at FS1, and it is a year since the whole situation with Shannon Sharp happened. That's funny. You're going to feel bad for the Valkyries? Why? Why you going to feel bad for the Valkyries? They're going to have a good squad. And it all depends on, I don't know, did I have a coach yet? I don't know how that works. So it all depends on who they get in the expansion draft. Because they got some good players coming out. If there ever was a time for expansion teams, now the time. I think the WNBA was moving a little bit too fast. I don't know how long they had this in the works, but they're doing it. So it'll be new merch to sell. Usually it's always a Clark crowd. Racism, what happened? But we'll find out. We will find out. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. Appreciate everybody jumping in. Had a nice little conversation. We're going to keep it moving tomorrow. The game tomorrow starts at, I believe it's 7:30. Wednesday. 7:30 Indiana at Dallas. So I'll be on the mic getting it done. So I'm going to get up out of here, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Jen Torino. William Quinlan, I appreciate you. Hunter Jules, don't be a stranger. I'm always looking for female voices on this channel, and I appreciate you. Gabriel Rodriguez, do not be a stranger, my brother. I appreciate you. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe and like, and we're going to do this again tomorrow. I will be on the mic tomorrow at 7:30 for the Indiana game. All right? I will see you guys then. Y'all have a good night. Peace.